Perfecto. Today I have the pleasure of introducing one of our most inspirational speakers, excuse me, Foggy, with today's speech, the moral of the story, that's the objective. 46 minutes, manual of storytelling, to understand that a story can be entertaining yet display moral values. To create a story that offers a lesson or moral, to tell the story using the skills developed in the previous two projects. Lessons in moderation. Our next speaker, Ken Smith, is presenting the third project in the storytelling manual, the moral of the story. Ken will tell us a story about an intimate friend of his, coincidentally named Tim, who had to learn lessons in moderation the hard way. Please help me welcome Ken Smith with his presentation, Lessons in Moderation. Lessons in Moderation, Mr. Ken Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters, friends. I have a friend I've known all my life named Ken. He has a difficult challenge with what some people consider a condition, others just consider it maybe lack of self-discipline, but it's called obsessive-compulsive behavior. I'm going to give you, there are many instances of this, but I'm going to talk about two of them. One, Ken started drinking alcohol early in life. About the age 15 was the first time he ever got drunk. And he continued. He was proud of the fact that he could go into bars and no one would card him. In fact, he was never carded until his 21st birthday. But he drank in bars, he went into liquor stores, bought liquor, and he enjoyed drinking until he felt really loose. He developed problems and he wasn't aware of it during that time. He told me one time that he saw this test to find out if you're an alcoholic and had 10 questions on it, and if you even answer one with yes, you were an alcoholic, and he answered all 10 with yes. But he knew he really wasn't because he didn't sleep in gutters. He didn't pass out. He went on in life continuing that way, and once he learned when he had a business that he lost a customer because that customer said, boozers are losers, and Ken's a boozer. And now he never even met this potential customers. His partner told him about it. But he remembered at that point that some years earlier he was with a boss of a sales organization he was with, who happened to be an elder in the Mormon church. And he took Ken out to lunch one day and told him that, you know, Mormons don't really have a problem with drinking, but what they realized was people have a problem in relating stories. And when someone sees an elder of a Mormon church at a table sipping a glass of wine, they relay it as, I saw him drinking. And the next one says, oh, I heard he was drunk. And so people spread that. And the only way that can never be spread is if no one ever sees them drink, and the only way to do that is to never drink. So it's an issue about image, not so much about alcohol. Well, when Ken heard that he lost a customer based on a reputation that he had, he decided, he remembered that story and decided, okay, if no one ever sees me drink again, eventually that reputation will go away. The only way to make sure no one ever sees me drink again is to not drink again. So he gave up booze at that point. That was just over 25 years ago. But an obsessive compulsive finds another outlet. And Ken turned to food. And over a period of time, his weight increased, and eventually he was 265 pounds. And it bothered him that he could no longer bend over and put his shoes on and socks on his ties. Well, having to sit up and pant to get his breath again and then go to the next one. So he cut down on his food. He ate less breakfast, actually. That just dropped him all by itself, 25 pounds. He went down to 240, and at that point he could tie his shoes and put his socks on, and everything seemed to be fine from that perspective. But he noticed a few years ago that his feet were starting to tingle a lot. And he called it stingling, because it was stinging, tingling. And he looked on the internet, couldn't seem to find an answer to it, and he checked with a podiatrist who told him that there are a number of potential causes. It sounds like he's got neuropathy, and there are a number of potential causes, but the most likely one may be diabetes. So he went to his doctor and got checked and found out his fasting blood glucose was 314. And for those of you who don't know, normal is under 120 for fasting glucose. So that's first thing when you get up in the morning after roughly 12 hours of no food. And so it's not just stinging and tingling feet, though. The sugar can actually attack lots of parts of the body. It can attack the kidneys, it can attack the eyes. Eventually, the feet can go black and have to be amputated, and Ken decided he did not want to hobble on crutches to a family member and ask for a kidney. And the best thing to do was probably, well, you can't just totally quit eating the way you could booze, but you could be very responsible about it. And Ken started doing that. And his weight went down, the stingling has never gone away, it's lightened up. But it looks like everything else is now under control. There's a moral to this story, and it reminds me of a saying that Ben Franklin used to say, and he had many sayings. This particular one is, drink not to giddiness, eat not to sluggishness. Do everything in moderation. Mr. Toastmaster.